I am Prabha Biju from the Department of Computer Applications in the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. This module would be beneficial for the students of all computer UG courses and PG courses and for final year of all UG courses. It would also be helpful in preparation of exams like GATE and UGC NET in computer science. In this lecture, we will cover following topics: Introduction to Operating System, where we will learn about the role of operating system and we will also see why is it so essential. Next, we will see few definitions with its goals. Then we will learn two factors involved in measuring the efficiency of operating system. And after that, I will explain you the functions of operating system followed by few examples. Friends, have you heard of these terms Windows, Linux, Unix, Ubuntu? I am sure that you are quite familiar with Android and BlackBerry. What are these? These are operating system. You are using them. They are very much present in your laptop, desktop, mobile phone and in home appliances. You are availing the facilities provided by the operating system. So, before I inform you more about the operating system, let us see where exactly it lies in the computer system. A computer basically is a useless lump of metal without its software. Computer with its software can store, process, retrieve information, display multimedia files, search the internet and perform simple and complex calculations. You might be knowing that computer has two main components, hardware and software. Hardware is the machinery part inclusive of CPU, which is also known as brain of the computer. I/O devices like monitor, printer, mouse, keyboard and memory like RAM and hard disk. On the other hand, software is a collection of programs, packages and applications written and developed by the various computer languages like C, C++, Java and Python. Whereas application software performs the actual work the user wants. With the help of application software, we can solve the real world problems. Some examples of system softwares are editor, compiler, interpreter and operating system. And the examples of application softwares are Microsoft Suite, Word, Excel, PowerPoint and some Internet Explorer like Firefox, Chrome, Safari. So, coming back to the topic operating system, now you can identify the operating system as system software that manages the operations of computer. The most fundamental system program is the operating system, which controls all the computer's resources and provide the platform upon which the application program can be written. It shields programmer from the complexity of hardware, which means it hides the complications of the machine and puts a layer of software on top of the bare hardware to manage all parts of the system and present the user with an interface or virtual machine that is easier to understand and convenient to program. Now, if still the question is there in your mind that why there is a need of an operating system. If there is no operating system, what will be the scenario? In that case, whenever user has to access I/O devices, a program has to be written for each individual devices and for each individual action. Like for example, if I have to print a Word document, I cannot give direct print command. I need to write a program to invoke printer to access its service. So now you can imagine that how difficult it would become for the user to write a piece of program for every little actions for like hitting a key on the keyboard and making a move with its mouse. You can see that in the computer system, the bottommost layer is of a hardware, that consist of physical devices, peripheral devices, microprocessor and machine language, which is also known as binary language. Then comes the layer of software, and the very first software is operating system, which directly communicates with the hardware. So, soon after we purchase a computer, the very first software which we install in the machine is the operating system. And on the top of operating system is the other system softwares and application softwares which directly handled by the end users. So, you can see that operating system acts as an interface between the hardware and the user. Now, let us see few definitions of operating system. Now, you are in a position to write your own definition on operating system. The most common definition is an operating system acts as an interface between hardware and user. It can be defined as an operating system is system software that manages computer hardware, software resources and provide common services for computer programs. Yet another definition is an operating system is an integrated set of programs that controls the resources of a computer system or virtual machine that is more convenient to use than the bare machine. So, out of these definitions, we can extract two major goals of an operating system, that is resource management and virtual machine management. In resource management, operating system manages all the resources and therefore, it is also known as resource manager or resource governor. The main task of an operating system is to collect all the resources and schedule the resources to the requesting process or a job. Second major goal is virtual machine management. An operating system hides the unpleasant low level details of a bare hardware machine and provides users with a much friendlier interface to the machine. Operating system makes convenient for the user to load, manipulate, print and execute programs. Moreover, the user of the virtual machine has the illusion that each one of them is the sole user of the machine, even though the machine may be operating in a multi-user environment. Basic example is Windows operating system. There was a time when Windows acquired 95% of market share because of its convenience, user friendliness and GUI, that is graphic user interface, where everything is available in front of your eyes in a form of icons, bars, symbols, list of commands. You just have to learn to use them in an efficient manner and become techno savvy. Moving on to the next topic, that is efficiency of an operating system. Gradually, there is an increase in complexity of problems and time constraints. User wants very fast access and swift execution. So, now we are looking forward to the operating system that provides convenience as well as the high throughput. The efficiency of an operating system and the overall performance of a computer installation are judged by a combination of two main factors. They are throughput and turnaround time. Throughput is the total amount of work performed by the computer system over a given duration of time. In other words, amount of work or number of processes that are completed by the system per unit of time is called throughput. It is taken as n upon t, where n processes are completed in an interval of t seconds. Second factor is turnaround time. It is the interval from the time of submission of job to the system for processing to the time of completion of the job. Time between the submission and completion of the job is turnaround time. Linux is the operating system that provides the high throughput and low turnaround time, and that's the reason why since 2018 market of Windows has come down to 82% and Linux has improved its market share. Now we will learn following functions of operating system: memory management, process management, processor or CPU management, file management, secondary storage management, network management, system information protection and security, and device management. Let us understand them in detail. Memory management, it refers to management of primary memory or main memory. Main memory is a large array of words or bytes where each word or byte has its own address, which is known as absolute address. For a program to get executed, it must be mapped to absolute address and loaded in the memory. So, efficient memory utilization is very necessary here, which is done by operating system. It supports modular programming. Instead of loading one entire monolithic program, it can load some modules. This will increase the CPU and memory utilization. An operating system does the following activities for memory management: keeps track of used and unused space in primary memory. In multiprogramming, the OS decides which process will get memory when and how much, allocates the memory when a process requests it to do so, and deallocates the memory when a process gets terminated. Next is process management. A process or a task is an instance of a part of a program in execution. A program is just a passive entity, whereas process is an active entity. It is the smallest unit of work that is independently schedulable. An operating system does the following activities for process management: provide process synchronization for resource sharing amongst concurrent process, provide inter-process communications among concurrent processes, provide mechanism for deadlock handling. Processor or CPU management. In multiprogramming environment, the OS decides which process gets the processor or CPU when and for how much time. This function is called process scheduling. An operating system does the following activities for processor management: keeps tracks of processor and status of process. The program responsible for this task is known as traffic controller. Allocates and deallocates the processor to a process. Coming to the next function, that is file management. Information is stored in pen drives, compact disk and hard disks. For convenience, operating system provides a uniform logical view of the information storage. This logical unit is known as file. A file system is normally organized into directories or folders for easy navigation and usage. These directories may contain file and other subdirectories. An operating system does the following activities for management: keeps track of information, location, users, status, etc. The collective facilities are often known as file system. Decides who gets the resources, allocates or deallocates the resources. Next is secondary storage management. The principal online storage medium for storing programs and data is a disk. System programs like compilers, debuggers, editors, linkers, etc. are stored on the disk. It is the job of operating system to swap out and swap in programs as and when required. It also takes care of storage allocations, file space management and disk scheduling. Next is network management. A distributed operating system is an operating system that runs on network computers. The number of users in the network from server shares the memory files. For example, if 20 nodes are connected by a server through LAN, then the OS, RAM, files, processor slots are all shared by 20 users. each user feels that he is running on a single large system with one operating system. Next is system information protection and security. Three types of protection mechanism are used by the operating system, that is access control, information flow control and certification. In access control, operating system provides read, write and execution access permission for the files to the users. Since many user handles the system and multiple processes being executed, so there is a need of protection from each other and also protection of operating system from the user processes. In information flow control, operating system regulates the flow of data within the system. So, some information is restricted to the user also. In certification, operating system provides the priorities and hierarchies to the resources to avoid destruction and fraudulent unauthorized access. Coming to the last function, that is device management. An OS has a set of device drivers, that is software routines that controls respective I/O devices through their controllers. Device drivers are written for keyboard, mouse, monitor, disk, etc. A device driver hides the peculiarities of its I/O devices. An operating system manages device communication via their respective drivers. It does the following activities for device management: keeps track of all the devices. Program responsible for this task is known as I/O controller. Decides which processes gets the device when and for how much time. Allocates and deallocates the device in the efficient way. These are some of the examples of operating system. OS used in desktop and laptops are Windows and the various versions of Windows, and the latest version is Windows 10. Mac OS, Linux, Unix and its versions like Sun, Solaris, HP, Ultrix, IBM OS, RTOS and Amoeba. For mobile phone, we have following operating system: Android OS, Bada for Samsung, BlackBerry operating system, iOS for Apple, MeeGo operating system for Nokia and Intel, Palm operating system, Symbian for Nokia. Then we have some embedded operating system for home appliances like Contiki, Montes, Tiny operating system, Light operating system. And the latest server operating system is Windows Server 2019. That's all in this module. Thank you. Hope it was the learning experience.